Guy here says he hasn't started freelancing because of lack of motivation, fear and indecisiveness. So I think they are like three feelings, emotions that we can all relate to. I think the only one that's really worth digging into is fear, and actually maybe indecisiveness a little bit as well. So I'm going to go through them really quickly and share my thoughts on each of them. So motivation is a funny one because I think we're all familiar now that motivation is just a feeling, it's a fleeting, it won't be with you forever, and at some point you've got to decide to just crack on and do it no matter how you feel, really. So I feel like there's not a lot we can do about that. We can't make you motivated. You know, no one can really make themselves motivated. Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. But if you're in the pursuit of a certain goal that you've decided that you want to go and get, the motivation is kind of irrelevant. I'm going to put that to one side and move on to indecisiveness. Well, what are you indecisive about? Like, are you indecisive about what career you want? Are you indecisive about whether or not you want to freelance? And I think the thing to remember is that starting to freelance isn't a big decision, because we're not asking you to decide your future now. It's just a matter of like being willing to explore it for a week, a month, 3 months, whatever. It's just the decision to, I'm going to set up the account and see what happens. I think when you make the decision to freelance, you don't really know what's going to happen. I didn't know that I was going to end up freelancing full time and loving it. I might not have done. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't have carried on with it. So I think what you need to do is just make the decision to try it if you're interested enough to do it. Set up the account, agree with yourself that you're going to put all the effort you can in the early days. You're going to set the account up really well. You're going to do all the good advice I've shared, like adding the testimonials, adding reviews, adding case studies where you've got them, etc. And then seeing what happens. I think what you'll find is that as you kind of decide to do something, as you get like a trickle of good luck and inquiry comes in, or you get a good job, the motivation's going to come naturally, as it does for a while, and then it will fall by the wayside, as it does for all of us, as it still does with me sometimes. Now, the thing that really does deserve some time is fear. So I think with fear, you need to ask yourself whether or not it's like legitimate. So is it reasonable for me to be afraid of freelancing? And if it is, maybe it's not the right job for you, and you need to get really honest with yourself and ask if it is reasonable. Because there are certain qualities and attributes that help freelancers. You need to be able to sell yourself, you need to be quite assertive, or at least open to learning these skills. You need to be a good people person, you need to be good with clients. It helps to be able to handle people's emotions. That's a lot of what handling clients is about. But if you're just scared for no good reason and you kind of know that you can do this, you should try and push that fear to one side and just crack on. So the main takeaway is you're just deciding to start. It's not scary, and you don't even need motivation to do that. Just the decision.